Welcome to episode 1 of the Wilderness Podcast, your old school RuneScape discussion every week. I'm your host, Dills, and with me is my co-host, Deegan.
Hey, what's up?
So this is just going to be an introductory episode. Just by the time this actually comes out, you guys can download it. It might be a few weeks late, just the way it all gets processed. So, Deegan, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hey guys. I'm starting school on Tuesday, which would be the 5th of September. I play old school. I'm playing WoW with the new expansion. I play Counter-Strike. Yeah, just average guy, I guess.
What are you taking in school?
I'm going in for programming right now.
How many years is that?
It's a 3-year program, so I'm in my second year, but there's I'm at the college right now in this town I'm in, and there's also a university, and I'm probably going to end up doing the program where I take 3 years of school at the college, and then I take a year at the university.
True, yeah. Well, for me, I'm working full-time. I basically just play RuneScape. I'll dabble in other things. I play League of Legends every now and then, and that's basically it. I've been playing a lot of RuneScape the past while. I started playing the old school servers as soon as they first started coming out, but I quit so many times in between, so it's taken me forever to get anywhere. But, whatever, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same for me. I got on, day one, tested it all out, was like, I'll come back one day. And then maybe a year later, one of my friends was on, so I decided to play with them, and, I take my hiatuses, but I always come back.
It's funny, that happens, so often. I was thinking about it, and I think it's because a lot of people who are playing RuneScape played it back in the day as well. They probably got to a high level. My old account was level 110, I believe, and I never got a level 99. I got so close. I got to level 98 strength, and then they took away the wilderness, and I got upset, and I actually quit and gave away my account. But so I never got a 99. So restarting an account, which is fun when everyone's doing it together, but it's kind of rough seeing how you've done it all before. But on top of that, killing cows versus killing abyssal demons that you've done before, it's a lot. It's not as fun.
Yeah.
And so what I started noticing is I would play a lot, get to a point where I'm starting to get burnt out. I haven't had that much fun yet. It's all just been a huge grind with little payoff. I'd quit. Then down the road, 6 months later, somebody, mentions RuneScape, or maybe I read it somewhere, and I want to try that game again. I jump back in every time, continue on, then quit after a couple months just because the grind's still, it's just so boring at earlier levels, I find. It's when your account's just so fresh.
Yeah, but I think for me, my account was never that good, up until 2007 when I pretty much stopped playing. I was just a little noob. I'd run around and just talk to people, and I never got anything done. So now on this guy, I'm not a super high level or anything, but I've definitely made a lot more progress on this guy than I have previously on.
Yeah, that's a noticeable change from how it used to be. The no XP wasting mentality. When you said you would talk to people, I remember spending days upon days just wood-cutting magic trees in the same world because I knew everyone there, and we would just sit there and talk. There was 5 or 6 people that were all friends. We'd all woodcut there. But I would literally spend every day after school cutting magic trees for 5 hours straight. I think back, I'm man, that was retarded. Because it wasn't I was playing League of Legends on the side when I was doing that. I was literally watching myself woodcut. It was fuck that.
And that's why I hated skilling when I was a lot younger. I would sit down and get a full inventory of coal or something and be oh man, this is awful. And I'd go back to killing random shit goblins or something, or hill giants.
Yeah, it's because skilling can just get pretty dull depending on what you're doing. But it's good to take breaks because you can burn yourself easily by doing a very repetitive skill.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Doing anything right now on RuneScape? Got any goals going on?
Well, right now, actually, I'm set up to do. I got all the requirements for Kandarian Heart Diaries. I haven't really done too much of them before, So I've been slowly cranking them out. Like, I got the easy ones done and whatnot. I mean, I've been playing, like, a lot more WoW and stuff. Just because, like, expansion came out, like, on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But, you know, hopefully soon I'll get around to finishing them all and, you know, go and start doing some easier bosses or, like, brutal black dragons or something and start making more money.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like, I'll take a break when, like, with this whole No Man's Sky shit that was going on. Like, I didn't really care about playing that game too much. I heard bits and pieces about it from work and stuff like that, like just from people at work and whatnot, and they were kind of trying to hype it up, but I didn't really like buy into the hype. But after the release and the giant shitstorm that came afterwards, I started playing. It just got me playing Elite Dangerous and other space games.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do that, you stop playing RuneScape for a bit, and then you come back, you realize a bunch of new updates have come out or are coming out, like the new raids, which that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I mean, we've all, like, you know, got to test out some of the items in, like, the beta world or whatever.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about some of the news and updates that are coming out. We're only going to brush over it just because, you know, a couple weeks from now, like, this might be listened to a lot later than when this news came out, so things might change. We'll just kind of brush over it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the raid rewards. Like, we did test out the Elder Maul. I thought it was cool. It
man, that thing hits like a truck. It's so satisfying.
It does. I still found myself having better luck with the HES spec.
Yeah.
And obviously, but I don't know. Something about it was a lot of fun just using it. I like the idea of having a KO weapon where you're not worrying about having to spec with it. You just switch to it, hope for a high hit.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I mean, obviously, it's pretty much like an Obby Maul, but
that was the kind of skin they gave it, just to I don't know, placeholder for now. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I tried the Elder Wand a little bit. You know, it's kind of hard to compare because I didn't like. It's not like I took the Staff of Dead and then took the Elder Wand and then compared them both side by side. I just kind of played around with it. It seems all right. I'm pretty excited to see it come out. I'm glad they're finally bringing out some. It's like a full setup of gear. Like, they got range, mage, melee. You know what I mean? A new melee weapon, a new magic weapon.
Yeah, they're bringing in like a lot of everything, which is it's really nice to see.
Yeah, but a lot of people are always worried about the whole power creep. But you know, they haven't really released like a handful of items like this yet, and they kind of need to for a raid to make it so it's not underwhelming. It would be a shame to go there. The raid, let's say, has 10 bosses, and like you're most likely not going to get any items because there's only 2 items that drop from it that are unique. At least this way, there's like 12. There's actually a ton. They've got the prayers as well that are going to be coming out, which are going to be tradable. It's going to be a scroll you'll be able to learn from what I've read. So that'll be cool. It'll be cool to see how much those go for day one, if even, depending how rare they are.
Yeah, who really knows? I mean, it's kind of nice to see a bunch of new items. Just it kind of spices up PvE and like especially PvP.
Yeah, that's what their idea with the Maul was. The one I can't remember if they had it, if they wanted to make it more PvE related or PvM. But I know the Maul was supposed to be a hard hitting PvP weapon.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, as of right now with PvP, it's kind of obnoxious. Everyone pretty much sits in Void or like Arams and just cheeses you out. Like, they need some variety.
Yeah, and that's I agree. Like, I was not gonna grind out any Void or grind out the Berserker Torso because or the Fighter Torso, sorry, because just I did them in the past, and it can be pretty brutal if you're not enjoying it, especially pest control, because again, we weren't as efficient back in the day, but I remember there was a time where me and a bunch of people I knew were pretty convinced that PC pest control was the best way to get experience. You traded in the points for experience as well, and that's how I was trying to get 98 strength. So upon grinding out the Void armor, when you grind out experience too, like, I'm so sick of pest control. I'm doing it on it, but I am doing it right now to get the Void because it's.
Yeah.
I tried to hold up for as long as I could, and I'm seeing how useful they are for things. Like, I'm trying to learn Zulrah right now. It can be a little tough, but a lot of people have said Void will make that easier. So I decided I'm going to try to grind that out.
Void is it's pretty necessary if you're doing things like Zulrah. Like, that was one of the first things I did. Like, I got like 42 defense, and I like immediately just went to pest control, got full Void, and I haven't been back since.
Which is probably the smartest thing to do, but like my thought process, and this is for the fighter torso too, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a Bando's chest plate soon. Not soon, but eventually I'll get it, and I'll just wear that instead of the fighter torso, instead of spending 8 hours trying to grind out Barbarian Assault.
Yeah. I mean, I got the fighter torso because I don't know, it's really good. Like, it's such a powerful, like, chess piece that I got that, like, yeah, pretty early on, and then I used that for a while, but, like, now I'm in full Bando, so it pretty much just sits in my bank.
No, it is good, and I've been starting to, like, think that I should be working towards that. I don't have, like, I do work full-time, so during the weekdays I can only play tops, maybe, I could probably squeeze 3 hours in, which is still a nice chunk, but it sucks knowing that if you want, like, say, the fighter torso, I'm going to be spending 3 weekdays just doing that, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, but, like,
it's demotivating a bit.
Yeah, that's part of the grind, though. It's either that or, like, Slayer or, you know, a skill. Like, generally, you're going to be sitting there doing, like, one thing. Or, like, a
exactly. It depends on how, like, the way you think of it. So, for me, I'm like, you know, I don't want the fighter torso because I could just get a Bando's chest plate instead, eventually. Yeah. Even though it's expensive. It's, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, you know, I could save myself the 8 hours or 7 hours or however long it takes to grind that out, and I could just wait until I get the money and buy a Bando's chest. Because eventually, you're going to be replacing it anyways. But the torso has its benefits, especially like with PvP as well.
Yeah, exactly. Bringing that out, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So we got a little off topic there, but it is nice to see kind of, hopefully, it'll be nice to see a new item coming in that'll spice things up in the wilderness. Although, getting hit with the ballista, getting hit with like a 64 when you're rune crafting is pretty obnoxious. So, yeah. We'll have to see.
I mean, but with the new items, like I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty cool seeing like the dragon throwing axes and the plate body and whatnot. Like,
they've actually decided to take the plate body out because
really?
I think they felt like they want to save it. You know what I mean? They don't want to just throw it in there. Although,
damn, dude,
the dragon short sword is still going to be there. What do you think of the dragon short sword? Have you read up on it?
Yeah, I read it a while ago, but like,
so I'm going to brush over.
Yeah, you should probably go over it.
Yeah, so the special attack of the dragon sword has one of two effects. If your target is protecting from melee, the special attack ignores this for one attack. If they are not, it hits with 25 increased accuracy and damage. The special attack costs 40% special attack energy. So, just reading that, it seems a bit underwhelming. To me, at least.
I mean, obviously it's going to be used quite a bit in PvP. Like, it's nice, like, it'd probably be nice for, like, deep wilderness PvP or something, or PKing.
Yeah, like, it could be.
Because if people are, like, praying melee or range, you know, you're tri-breading or something, you swap out and hit them with that spec. Even though you're probably not going to, there's probably better things to use it for, but I don't know, it's nice to have something new.
Yeah, it's cool, but I think what kills it is the 40% special attack energy.
Yeah, no, that's pretty shitty.
I could be totally wrong here, but for me at least, it would be hard to justify using up 40% versus 25% with a DDS. Something like that.
Yeah.
There's
definitely better options.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. You never know. It could be totally broken, but
yeah, or it could be totally useless.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of two. I think they might do a good job of balancing it, but I can't see it having, like, you don't see the Dragon Scimitar special too often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be something similar like that.
I don't even know. Like, do they ever rebalance weapons in like armor? Like, I don't really like. I can't recall like anything that's like. I know they like quote unquote fixed the Gmaul because there's a bug that like at one point let you do Corp Beast without like dying or taking any damage.
Oh yeah.
Do they ever like rebalance stats or anything? Like, do they have anyone in the team that does that?
That's a good question.
I can't recall because like things like the ballista, like it's good, but it's like killing PvP or PKing right now.
It's strong. I haven't been PKing too much yet. I want to get my stats a little bit higher, but I have been hit with it a few times just because I'd either rush the guy for fun because he attacked me when I was runecrafting, or attacked me when I was runecrafting. But it does seem to hit pretty hard. And the fact that you're able to kind of stack hits, like there's kind of a buffer of when it's going to shoot in the projectile, makes it a bit more tricky. But you look at the AGS, specking 65s. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. I mean, hopefully they have everything balanced.
It depends on the consistency. It's like I'm honestly at no problems with really like high hits. Is how consistent they are. Like I don't mind like a nice high hit, but it has to be pretty rare. Like I don't want to be seeing it happen like multiple times in a fight.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, like I could see the long swords or the short sword story having like you probably use it for some bosses. Like it seems pretty good. Like the whole special it ignores prayer. Kind of works like Verax. Be kind of neat to see that go in. See people bring that to like certain bosses that you need that for.
Yeah, you'd have to see. The only problem with that is the boss would have to have the prayer for melee. There's some bosses that have high defense, and then you use the Dragon Warhammer. Kind of cuts that down a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I agree. It'll definitely be cool if it has its place in the game. I hope it doesn't become an item you never see.
Pretty much like the Dragon Longsword.
I mean, I love the Dragon Longsword. I don't know why. Something about it is. I wish it was.
I remember being like a little kid, getting members finally, and doing Lost City and all that, and then like me and my friend from school like put our money together and bought one, and we just like shared it. Like I have such fond memories of it, but God, it's such a shitty weapon.
Oh yeah, there's tons. I remember getting my first DDS and like I was so excited, and then I don't know. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, just because the special and everything. There's so many things I look back and I would think like I can't believe I was excited. Like being a non-member and seeing like Pickpocket Man, but not being able to do it. When I finally got members, that was the first thing I did. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever that I could steal money off this guy. But now I look back at it, I'm just like, man, like.
Yeah, I think I actually did the exact same thing. I think I got members logged in, was in Lumbee, and was like, oh, no way. I think I like was pickpocketing med and stuff, and I remember going into like the ham like hideout like really early on and getting a full set of ham and thinking I was like the like coolest thing ever. Running around showing off my cool set of ham.
Yeah. I remember doing the same thing, getting every piece of ham and being like, this is the coolest armor in the game. I have so many fond memories. We could have a whole podcast just about memories.
Whole episode dedicated.
But we'll move along with the news here. They're also going to be releasing the Forgotten Prayers. They've removed a few, which, I'm not seeing them having... They had a prayer, which would... your prayer would drain instead of your run energy. Something along those lines. Anyways, I think they took that out.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're taking that out, which is sad to see. That would have been pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But whatever. The ones they have now, though, is they got Preserve, which is going to require 55 prayer, and it'll boost stats. Boosted stats will last 20% longer. So, I think that, depending on how fast your prayer is draining, it could be good. If it drains as fast, maybe like your health regen prayer does, I can see it. I'm pretty sure it will be that long anyways, like that type of tick speed.
Yeah, well, it's like, what, a minute per stat? Or like it's like a minute countdown? So you can have, up to a minute of like a certain stat before it drops, so I guess
I think it is. Minute, or I'm pretty sure it's a minute. So I'll give you a minute 20 seconds, which isn't much, but if at the same time, if you're trying to bang out a Slayer task without having to bank because you're out of potions and you're already not going to be praying anyways, you might as well throw that on. That'll help you a lot.
Yeah. So I wonder how like pray flicking works with this. Hopefully it doesn't have like health regen, like just resetting the timer. Like I really hope they make sure that doesn't happen.
That would literally pretty much keep your stats boosted. You know what I mean? Like,
man, it would
they'd never drain. I don't think.
Yeah, hopefully they don't have any issues like that.
So on top of Preserve, we also got Rigor, which is 74 prayer. It's going to boost your range attack. It's going to boost your range attack by 20, range strength by 23, and your defense by 25%. And they have Augury. I'm going to call it Augury. 77 prayer. It's going to be required. It's going to do the same thing, basically, but with magic. So it's going to boost your magic accuracy by 25% and your defense by 25%. So there's no magic strength, or it's not going to boost your damage cap with magic. But basically, these two ones are kind of like the chivalry and piety of ranged and magic.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that like the other combats get some love.
Yeah, so I welcome those. I remember that when they added the prayers that just like Hawkeye and I can't remember what the magic one's called, but the ones that boosted your attack of ranged and magic.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool when they added that in. So yeah, these are pretty welcome. I'm pretty happy with these.
So are the only requirements just getting like the prayer scrolls or the prayer books or whatever, or do you have to have any like certain like quests done or anything? Have they released anything about that?
So I believe when you kill the boss, a scroll's going to drop. You could use it on yourself, or you could sell it, and then someone else could buy it. You could you could just sell it on the GE. And I think somebody else is going to be able to buy that, and then they could learn it if they wanted to.
But like when you use it, you'll have a choice out of all the prayers, right?
No, I don't believe so, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Oh, you know what, actually? It does say right here. You'll be given a choice of learning one of the 3 prayers. So yeah, you're right. You will be given a choice. So that's...
that's pretty nice.
That is nice. It would be kind of cool, though, to have each one of them drop. I wouldn't mind seeing the price differences between the Augury and the Rigor. So like the range versus the magic. It'd be cool to see what's going on. What.
That would definitely be pretty nice.
Although... like, this is great. This is a completely new idea of having prayer scrolls drop that you can learn, but I kind of wish they used this opportunity to finally give Zaya, maybe even the raid, give that a quest. Something, you know what I mean? It could go in line with the King's Ransom.
Yeah, if they definitely had like a theme like that in Zaya, that would be pretty nice.
Because it does feel like Jagex is kind of shy to touch too much on the quests. I understand it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for something that most people are only ever going to experience once.
Or not even do. Like, some people just,
Yeah, I've never done Monkey Madness 2 yet.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but...
But from what I hear, when it was released, people loved it. They say it was great. They said it was hard, and it was long, and it was, just all-around challenging.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, and I hope they do bring up more quests, even though I'm not, I don't really like the quests in old school RuneScape.
See, that's the thing. I think like RuneScape it has the most unique quest system out of any other game. Like, it's pretty refreshing.
I completely...
Like, you play other MMOs and it's just like kill like 10 guys, and it's like we have that, but that's Slayer. Like, some of these quests, like, the only thing that kind of bugs me is some of them are just super goofy and like they're just trying to be silly with all the dialogue and stuff. I mean, I just hold spacebar or whatever, just skip it all. I don't really read it, but
I do the same thing.
But like, yeah, like some people are into the quests or whatnot. Like I like doing quests. Like I'm probably gonna get my quest cape like soon. Like it's probably one of my next goals after like I'm sick of real black dragons and like KBD and stuff. But like I don't know. I kind of like having to go and find all the items and all that stuff. I mean, I'd probably hate it if there wasn't like old school wiki or anything like that. I'd probably hate having to figure all that shit out on my own.
Which actually, no, this is interesting because I agree. RuneScape does have a very unique quest system. Now, some of the storylines I don't think I've ever read a single storyline, but I've heard, and I'll read a little bit and pick up things. So, I believe it's Underground Pass. That's a quest that I did skip all the dialogue, but as I'm doing it, I'm thinking to myself, this is probably a really cool quest that I probably should have read. It seemed pretty dark.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually don't know the themes of any of it, but...
Now, if you remember that quest, I might be getting it mixed up. So I'm not looking it up right now. I'm going off the top of my head, but... You're in the Underground Pass, I'm pretty sure, and you're getting these dialogues that pop up in your chat in the red writing, and it's like really creepy. It was as if a ghost is following you, and it's kind of like haunting you. It would be saying things like "turn back," "you need to leave." You know what I mean? Like things like that. So doing that quest, I remember thinking like, this is probably an awesome story. This is probably like a really serious and a really dark story. It's not going to be some like little kids, goofy, let's have fun with this little storyline. But I think that one's a pretty dark one, and it's probably something that you'd be interested in checking out. But again, I never do. So what I wanted to say though is, now I started playing RuneScape 3 a little bit. Like I dabble into it because I wanted to see what the fuss was about. A lot of people from Old School RuneScape always shit on RuneScape 3, so I wanted to go see. Okay, let's see how terrible of a mess this is. Obviously, at first, it's completely different. Everything looks silly, but you get used to it. And one thing that I love about RuneScape 3 is their quests. A lot of them, are the same quests you knew from Old School RuneScape, but the way it's done, they're really well done. They've gone over some of them and put voice acting in them, and some of them are just really cool. And they're not as silly. There's a bunch of new quests, obviously, that are low-level quests, kind of like introductory to the game quests. But some of them were pretty dark or pretty serious. It wasn't anything like silly. So it's pretty cool. I know RuneScape it has the potential. Fuck, it's probably already in the game, but just the way it's played out, I find it dull. I find just reading the text, I don't know why, it's just so boring.
Well, yeah, because it's pretty much like a plain text with like a moving head next to it, and like it doesn't mean anything. There's no actual story. Like you just look at like any other game, like. Well, I don't really read dialogue in like most MMOs or anything like that, but like there are like this isn't a story like driven game. It's a sandbox, right? So like a lot of these quests are just like really dumb, and they kind of start and stop, and they're just like really boring. And I think like they know it, so they just make it super goofy. But that kind of like for me, it makes it a little worse because like you'll read a little bit of a dialogue, and it's just like so stupid. You're like. Just kind of shake your head and just continue holding spacebar.
So we won't say too much on the quest topic because there wasn't any quest release or coming out anytime soon. But what I want to say is, it gets to a point. There's a turning point where when the quests are getting a lot harder, they start taking themselves a lot more serious. I think. It's hard to tell because I don't read it, so I'm really just assuming, speaking of my ass. But I feel like. No, I'm pretty sure. I would not be surprised. You got things like Desert Treasure, Morning's End Part 2. The more of the end game quests. They seem to take themselves more seriously or more dark. And no, I wouldn't say RuneScape's story driven, but you're definitely supposed to you definitely have your own. You're going through these own stories as you know what I mean, as your own.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. It's cool. I hope they stick on doing quests. I hope they push for those more often. We've only seen one quest since Old School RuneScape came back. So let's move along, though. We also, so I actually saw this was for today, though. They released a bunch of new pets into the game, a bunch of new skilling pets. So some of them, they have the agility. So for agility, they've released a giant squirrel, and it's from completing any agility course and from Brimhaven Arena tickets. Farming, you got Tangle Root, which is from Teeth Farming, or checking the health and harvesting the final crops of any fully grown farming patch, which is cool to see. Originally, they were just talking about doing trees. So I'm glad they have that. It's cool they have Teeth Farming. I wonder... They'll probably have the rates balanced. I don't know what I'm thinking. Thieving, they have a raccoon. You can get it from stealing from stalls, pickpocketing NPCs, picking fruit from the sorcerer's gardens, and looting gray and gold chests within Pyramid Plunder. So I'm glad you can get it from Pyramid Plunder. I'm a huge fan of Pyramid Plunder. I find it a lot of fun for some reason. Just do.
Yeah.
Rune crafting, you got a Rift Guardian. Obtain when crafting any runes at their respective altars. The Rift Guardian can transform into a style for each type of rune, and to do so, simply craft runes at the altar with the Guardian following you. So that's cool. You craft a rune, he'll change colors, and use that color until you rune craft again. So for Family Crest, they're releasing a mini quest where you're able to get every single glove without having to go to each brother to, pay the 25 gold to get them.
Or yeah, the 25k. Like that was I always found that was like such a nuisance.
It was a nuisance.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice change. Nice quality of life. Update.
Yeah, it was a nuisance, but it's nothing I ever thought to myself, man, they better fucking change this.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I didn't mind doing it too much, but I'll welcome this. Whatever, I'll take it. I take it or leave it. Doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. They also have some things in the other news, which is I'm kind of glad they did this. But the rogue items, the rogue set, like the equipment you can get from the rogue's den. I don't know if you've ever done that. There's like a little thieving and agility course kind of thing. You have a small chance of unlocking them. I did this back in the day, and I remember it is fucking difficult to get every single item because you're constantly getting duplicates of the same item, and you're not getting the boots you need or whatever piece you're missing. Anyways, now when you have the full set, the chance of pickpocketing double loot, you have a 100% chance of pickpocketing double loot. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice little reward for finally getting like that full set.
Yeah, so it's kind of sitting in with skilling equipment. So you got farming, you got woodcutting, fishing, mining. It's cool to see this as kind of a different take on it. It reminds me of kind of like the Graceful. I would throw Graceful in that category too. It's different. You're not just getting 2.5% more experience once you've unlocked it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And they got a few other minor changes, but I'm not really going to go over them. It's nothing too important. But we got a new J mod on the team, Mod Tom H, which is cool, great. He's been QA on the QA team for 10 years, so that's awesome. He seems to have a lot of experience. I'm sure you're going to see a lot less bugs, I guess.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy how fast this team is expanding. I remember when they released the polls to release OldSchool RuneScape, and they said, hit this point, the game comes out. Hit this point, we'll have a small team dedicated to, dedicated to it. Hit this point, we'll have a bigger team. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the polls hit to the having the game out and having the lowest dev team with the game having a little bit looked after. But now you're looking at how many we got now? 15, I think.
Yeah, the team's expanded quite a bit. I mean, it's still like in comparison to like other games and whatnot, it is still like a pretty small team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're cranking out a lot of updates.
It's good.
I mean, there are some bugs and whatnot, but that happens regardless.
Yeah, and a few half-assed, rushed updates or updates that are kind of trying to cater to bring in new people instead of, I don't know, just making a solid update. They are doing a good job with most of them. I hope they kind of... Yeah, I hope they don't go the No Man's Sky route and just release updates because, well, shit, we hit the deadline. Push things back if you have to.
They kind of did that with Last Man Standing. Like, there are so many issues with that.
they pushed it back, but they should have kept pushing it back. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, there's going to be people that get upset if an update gets pushed back, but I think they should just kind of shrug, and it's just more of like quality over quantity. Because like too much of a bad thing is even worse. Because
like you look at RuneScape now, the game's fucking massive. Like obviously compared to World of Warcraft might have a bigger landmass, but in World of Warcraft, how often are you going back to the very level 1 zones to do something? You know what I mean? How often are you going to your the camp that you started off at? RuneScape, you're constantly going back to Lumbridge, the place you all started from. You're constantly going there to do so many things. You're using every part of the world over and over again.
Yeah,
so
I think that's just the different archetypes of like the MMOs. Like WoW is like a story driven, like you're progressing. It's like kind of set in stone. You do your quests, you level up, you go here, you go there. And in RuneScape, it's just kind of like, all right, hey, we made a bunch of shit, so go do what you want, and yeah, hopefully you have fun.
Yeah, so if they're gonna bring out an update, they don't need to rush things out. RuneScape has so much content within the game. They should just focus on making the best updates possible, and like they'll get appreciated. Like if you look at kind of the backlash to Last Man Standing, compare that to Monkey Madness 2. I don't know if you were watching. I didn't do. I still haven't done obviously Monkey Madness 2, but I was following it on Reddit when it first came out, and people loved it. People were having so much fun, and this is something you're only ever going to do one time. You're never really going to go back and do Monkey Madness 2 again, unless you're making an account. But why are you making another account and going to be doing all the endgame quests again? Yeah. So the fact that people enjoyed it that much, and they knew they weren't going to be coming back to it. So, you know what I mean? That's the way they should be focusing it. You know what I mean? Focusing on the best updates possible, no matter what.
Yeah, like, I mean, there are obviously those, like, power players that just, like, they just sit there and, like, they have pretty much, like, everything done, and they're waiting for, like, these raids to come out. But the average player, like, they still have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, sure, like, a lot of it is just kind of, like, mini games or whatever, like, certain quests or just, like, skilling. Like, it's just not, like, the most important stuff. But, like, yeah, there's still so much crap, like, people can do.
Yeah. I completely agree. Maybe, if anything, try to revive a few other pieces of content that don't get used as much, Castle Wars, fight pits. Oh, I love fight pits.
Yeah. See, Castle Wars is like, I'm surprised people don't do it that much. I mean, obviously, like, it's kind of annoying for like a level 50 and you're just getting one banged by 120s and stuff, but like you get like a couple friends or something and you go in, like it doesn't even matter if you guys win or lose. Like, it's still so much fun. Like, I remember, like, I got like 3 or 4 of my friends to start playing just because, like, I was just talking to them on TeamSpeak, like, hey, yeah, I'm playing it again, like, I'm playing old school, and like, they all eventually got back into it, and like, one of them was like the same level as me at the time, like a 90 or 100, and like, the other 2 were like 60 and 50, and like, oh, it was still so much fun just to go in and like, mess around, and like, oh, like, I don't know, they have some good mini games like Castle Wars. I think people just like need to stop worrying about like, oh, I gotta hit a level. Like, they just gotta have fun with it. Like, this game's not really going anywhere.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna stay here for a while. So
no, I completely agree. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess. But yeah, you don't need to be a high level to have fun in Castle Wars. Hell, I remember. Again, this is back in the day, so you probably won't ever see this again. But yeah, you'd have a low level. I remember I'd be like 105. I'd bring my best gear. I'd bring ancient magics, and you're blowing hundreds of thousands of gold, just having fun. But you don't care. So you give a noob the flag to hold on to. He's holding the flag, and you just sit there and protect him. Everyone can have fun because even that's fun to do. You have an important role. But exactly. Let's move on from the news. For something we said we weren't going to go over for too much, we kind of did spend quite a bit on there, and we did ramble on other things a bit. But Deegan, is there anything you want to talk about this week? So this section of the show, this little segment, is it's kind of like the discussion of the week.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, a big issue with like RuneScape, and especially like if you go around the Grand Exchange, is just like the amount of scamming. And I mean, like, it's always like kind of a topic. It's always lingering somewhere of just about, yeah, like, oh, like I got scammed or this scam is like happening. Like, whatever. But yeah, I was just like, I kind of just want to talk about like why it's such a like big issue in like RuneScape compared to other games, or is it even like really an issue? And just kind of like, yeah, what everyone's gone through, like RuneScape, it was my first MMO I played, but it also was the game I got scammed out of the most. Like, I fell for armor trimming like twice. I got trust traded like 2 or 3 times. Sure, I was like a lot younger, and it did teach me a lot about scamming.
Oh yeah,
and whatnot. Like, it's a good way to learn not to trust anyone.
Yeah,
but I think
real world advice right there.
Yeah, for real. I think like most people realize if you meet that dude, you know, on like the eastern path to Varrock near the mines, he's like, "Yo, man, I'll trim your armor." Like, shit, that's a scam. Like, it's just like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think everyone's been scammed at one point, even if they won't admit it. Like, I don't
definitely.
really care. It's happened to me way too many times. Now that like I don't even trust people. And
the way you can tell is you know people are still getting scammed is by the amount of people scamming. The amount of people are scamming because it works or something about it works.
Yeah, no,
some people just want to make a quick buck. I don't know. Maybe some people have fun on it. Scamming's always been a huge issue, and it is more so in RuneScape. I've been scammed in the past, but yeah, it's something when I was a kid I didn't fucking learn from it. A trust trade, I must have got scammed like 4 times, and every single time I thought this guy was going to give me like all this armor and stuff, and then every time I was just like, damn. And, like, I would meet friends on the game. They'd ask for my account info. We'd play on each other's accounts. You know, I'd let them. Eventually, I'd log on one day, all my items are gone. And I still gave out my password like 4 times after that, and I got hacked 2 or 3 times. That's not even me being hacked. That's just being an idiot and giving your shit away. So, you know, I don't know why scamming's such a big thing. I feel like people want to make effortlessly money on both ends. The scammer and the scammy. Both people just want free money. So the guy who's getting scammed, he just wants a quick buck. He wants to flip his money. A lot of things can be prevented, but if you just sat there and asked yourself, why? Why is this guy going to double my money? Is he super loaded? But why? If he's going to double my money, why does he need to do it in 2 trades? It's a lot common sense, and they're going to get the people that are just like, oh, all I need is 20k for a full rune. And let's flip it. You know what I mean? Something like that. But,
well, I was going to say, like, I think the main reason for scams to happen in games like, in games like RuneScape, it's because it's like a sandbox, right? So there's so many different ways to make money.
Now, let me cut you off for a second there.
Yeah.
When you say sandbox, we said that a bunch. What exactly do you mean? Like, a sandbox versus an MMO that's not a sandbox.
Yeah, so there's like a sandbox game, which is like kind of like a free roam, like RuneScape, you know, you do your tutorial, you get out, and like there's not that much explanation, so you kind of get thrown in the deep end, and you just kind of, you do whatever the hell you want. Like, you're level 3, or you're sitting in Lumbridge Castle, you're like, well, okay, I'm gonna go cut some trees that are over here, or I'm gonna go kill these cows and take their hides and craft, or I'll go sell them, or I'll go just take the beef and cook. Like, you pretty much, like, you set your own path on how you want to progress, and it kind of makes this game unique. Like, everyone has a completely different experience, unless you're the type of person to, like, I kind of want to try out RuneScape, and you research the best ways to do everything, but, like, the average person just kind of heard it from someone, or saw a streamer, or, like, and they just kind of try it out. And, like, a lot of people, you know, they don't know what to do, so they quit. But, like, that's just kind of the nature of, like, a sandbox. So and then there's also, like, story-driven games, which are, like, World of Warcraft and, like, WildStar and all those other MMOs where you start off at level 1 and you pick up a quest and you progress through different zones, and, you know, you hit 20s and, like, you know, you go to the next zone, you get a better weapon and you level up.
So for the most part, it's a game where everyone's striving for the same goal.
Yeah, everyone has, like, the same path, like, in those games, and then like, it's heavily focused on endgame content, where sandboxes are just, the whole game is just content. It's not like you're gearing. Well, I guess now with raids they're kind of creating some sort of endgame content, but like right now, like, it's more of like, okay, I got a 99 in strength, and then what? Like, there's always something to do and progress, and you can kind of do it however you want. But then, like, let's say World of Warcraft, you level up, well, like now to 110, and then you get the best gear out of all the raids, and then you go up another tier, and then you get to a point where, and then what? Like, I'm done. Like, I'm waiting. Like, I've beaten this game pretty much, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna go do PvP now. Like, no, like RuneScape has so much to do, but that's the thing that comes like bringing it back, is that there's so much to do that, you know, you can make a lot of money just by doing whatever, and like a lot of people are going to do this by scamming people and just kind of being an asshole, right? Because it's a lot easier to do it.
Yeah, and you can see that. Like, there was a guy named I believe it was Pizza Man. You could message him; he'd bring you a pizza anywhere. People do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is actually interesting when you say that, because when you compare RuneScape to World of Warcraft, so for those of you who haven't played World of Warcraft, most of your items, I don't know how it is in the newest expansion, but before, most of the items you get them from drops, or you'd craft them or whatever. But most items, once you equipped them, or maybe it's all items, but once you got them, you can't trade them. So it's not like, you know, you're wearing... It'd be like if RuneScape, you pick up Bando's chestplate, it's yours. You have it forever. You can't sell it to a person. You can sell it to whatever. You can't trade it to anybody. So I think having... So with World of Warcraft, there isn't really... There's not that much scamming at all. I don't think I've ever been scammed. But you have so many people who are willing to help you out. And since when I played briefly World of Warcraft, I came from RuneScape. And so many times I was like, no, man. Like, I remember talking to someone. They said they'll make an item for me, and they asked me to give them the materials. And I was like, no, fuck that. He's going to steal it, and he's just going to make the item for himself. And he's asking me to pay him. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to pay him for him to scam me. Then I'd have people tell me, man, he's not going to scam you. And they never did.
Yeah, I know exactly. I think a lot of it is that WoW is linear progression. So, like, the only way you're really going to scam is, like, yeah, like you said, like, you know, give me the materials and I'll make this for you. Or, like, you know, whatever. But, like, with RuneScape, you can make someone never touch the game again. You can like give me your armor, and now they have nothing, and it's like, because it's a sandbox, so they essentially have to restart. Like, if someone steals your town and cleans your bank, like you have to like completely restart, and like not many people are willing to rebuild. And like, it's like, obviously it's a pretty big issue, but that's kind of just the nature of MMOs, and it's I don't know. I think like people obviously love to grief, and if you can. And, like, if you steal, like, you know, a couple materials or, like, some gold or something from someone in WoW, like, they're always just gonna shrug it off. Even if you take all the money they have, like, they still have their armor, they can still continue doing whatever content they're on at this point. But, like, you scam me for my bandos, like, there goes, like, the majority of my bank, and now I have no melee armor, so now I'm gonna have to train using, like, this, or I'm gonna have to go back to skilling to make the money. You know, like, it like... completely can just ruin someone's account. So like, but people like doing that, and like there's bigger payout for like scamming.
And I feel like on top of the payout, I don't scam at all. Like I've never actually done it, so I can't really tell. But I'm trying to put myself in a scammer's shoes. It's probably kind of exciting, you know, trying to, you know, get that guy to just click accept on the trade. You know what I mean? It's just one click. He has all the items in there. He has all the items in the trade menu. He has to click one button and it's yours. There's got to be something exciting by trying to manipulate someone into doing that.
Oh yeah, like 100%. Like, okay, I was probably like 8 or 9, and like I had some stupid name, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a Jagex mod. Give me your account." Like that type of like just being a little kid never worked. Got banned. Like, you know, just being an idiot. But like I've never actually like tried to steal someone's items. But I think it's just because I've never wanted to. But no, I think a lot of it is that like. The people that doing it get a huge rush, and like you gotta be like some sort of an asshole to just want to steal someone's shit. But then on the other hand, like you gotta be pretty greedy to like think, if I give this guy 3 mil, I'm getting 6 mil, or
that's
I really like my full rune, but if it's fully trimmed, well, like not now anymore, but you know, back in the day, if it's fully trimmed, like it's gonna be worth way more money, and it's look way cooler. Like everyone does it for like a selfish reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People are getting caught are normally the selfish people as well.
Yeah, of course.
But
like I was thinking, there's other sandbox games, you know, like Albion Online and EVE Online, And
I haven't played any of those games, so you'll have to.
Yeah, like I've played both of them. They're very like these three they're all sandbox MMOs. They all are like free roam, like just do whatever the hell you want. They're all like very different in terms of how it works. I mean, Albion Online's closer to RuneScape than Eve, but like the way like Albion Online scams work, or you're in King's Market, which is like one of the more major cities. Like there's a crap ton of little cities, but it's like one of like it would be like the Varrock, I guess, of RuneScape, right?
Okay.
And you can duel people, but you can also duel people for money. And so I could, like, if you're just chilling, like, watching people dueling, I'll walk up to you, like, you know, duel you once, and then I'll let you kick my ass or something. And then, like, but then I'll duel you again, and I'll, like, crank up how much gold, like, silver I'm gonna, like, steal from you. So, like, oh, like, let me just see if he'll accept for all his money, and I have way better armor than him. And then like, you see it all the time, like in that game, where people will just hit accept, not thinking about it. Boom, they have no more money, and they just like,
oh yeah,
well, this is my first time playing. Like I just lost everything. I didn't know. I didn't even really fight back or whatever. Probably making just excuses, but like there are a lot of scams, and like in that game, like I'll just say this quickly. In like Albion Online, it's a lot like RuneScape, how it used to be, but when you go into certain areas, there's like, you know, green, yellow, and red. Green is like you die, it's okay. Yellow is like you die, you lose some money. Red is you die and you lose everything. But you have to go to these red zones to do like certain instances where you get 4 other people and one's healing and one's tanking, and you go and kill these guys. But shit, actually, one of my friends like always did this, and I never really wanted to play with him because he did this. What he would do is he'd be a healer. And he'd get, like, another friend of his, and then they'd get, like, other people, and then he would purposely not heal them and watch them die so he could steal their shit.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's an awful thing, right? But, like, that's not really considered a scam. You can just say you messed up, right? But it's obviously it's like bringing someone out to the wild to show them your cool house at 40 Wilderness. Like, it's still scamming. But, like... Yeah, like, obviously there's some repercussions depending on how you're doing it. But then there's, like, Eve, where it's a very, very different MMO, but it's super weird because you're actually allowed to scam. They obviously don't encourage it, but there are, like... There's a couple, like, planets, because it's, like, a space exploration MMO, and one of them's called Jita, I believe, and, like, you walk in there, and you go to, like, the equivalent of a Grand Exchange, and, like, 80% of the people there are just trying to scam. They set up, like, special, like, orders to, like, you know, they can make quests in the game pretty much, like, delivery quests to bring certain items to another thing. They'll do, like, little tricky scams where you have to pay them a bunch of money, but... the money you get back is less, or the items you get are less. Like they even have like the same thing like with trust trades, but it's done like a completely different way. But not many people fall for it because so many people try doing it, and because since everyone's doing it because you're allowed to, there's so many people doing it poorly that I guess most people learn, right? And like it's kind of weird. Like I kind of wonder like if like RuneScape kind of took the same approach as like Jagex, that like. Well, you know, any interaction with the player is fine, just no doxing. That's Eve's pretty much standpoint on it. Like, they want it to be a true sandbox. Like, I wonder if Jagex can just let that. I mean, obviously it'd be pretty bad in the beginning, and they definitely won't ever do this. But I wonder how it would change, like, people scamming, or, like, harassment, or just anything like that. Like, if they just kind of let people go loose and just kind of watch the community, like, meme each other, like, just around, like, anywhere. Like, I just kind of, like...
Kind of cool you said that, actually, because I'm thinking that would be, I would be okay with that, because like I agree, you know, I don't like to see people begging, and I don't like to see people scamming at the GE every time I go, but at the same time, like, you gotta use your head, you know, people shouldn't be so gullible. It's not hard to think about. Now, I think allowing the scamming, kind of like if Jagex literally was like, we're not banning anyone who scams unless they're like, we're not going to ban anyone for saying they're doubling money and then they steal your money, because who the fuck doubles money?
Yeah, you're an idiot, pretty much.
But in order to combat that, I think they would need to either give the power to the players a bit more, as in they need to have more player mods, or they need to have some people with control, a little bit of control, so you don't just have all these scammers that are just polluting everywhere, so that you're able to kind of do something about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's the issue. Because, like, with EVE, there's hubs of just, like, a scamming hub, right? And, like, which is different because traveling in that game, like, it takes forever. And in RuneScape, it's, you click a button, right? You get runes or a teletab. And so, like, you'd be a lot more intimate with the scammers, so, like, it wouldn't be... It obviously won't have the same effect. It'd probably be a lot worse, but, like, I don't know. I think a lot of it, they have to, like, educate people, like, either through the tutorial or, like, first time entering a Grand Exchange, like, hit you with a cinematic that you can't skip that kind of goes over what the kind of people you're gonna see. And, like, the thing that doesn't worry me, like, about scamming, because, like, you look at a scammer doubling money, people just talk shit to him, like, all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, shit, you'll, like, I don't know who it was, but one time I was like, doing Herblore or something in the Grand Exchange, and I saw some 126 come in with, like, full third age, like, a Dragon Warhammer, and he went in there and obviously had a friend come in, and he gave him, like, he's like, oh, give me 10 mil and I'll give you something cool. The guy gave him 10 mil and he quote-unquote gave him a Bandos chest, right? And I sat there on I was sat there Herblore and talking to my buddies on TeamSpeak, and I watched this guy take 80 mil and then leave within 5 minutes. He just changed, like, worlds. He just went in, took 80 mil, completely left. It was, like, totally ridiculous. And, like, but, like, those are people just being idiots, like, 100%. Like, you should, you should be aware enough to know that that's a scam.
Yeah, but I can see the point. If you have, if you're wearing just on you like 1 bill with Vitums, why the hell are you going to scam 2 mil from me?
Yeah, like, no,
that's the thought process.
At that point, that guy is going to be like RWT, like real world trading. That, or he's just doing it to be just a complete asshole. But like that doesn't really bug me too much. Money. Yeah, that's probably how he made all of his money. But like. Yeah, that doesn't really bug me too much. I think what bugs me more is seeing people sitting in Grand Exchange begging. Like, I think that's way more of an issue because 99% of them are doing it just, that's how they make money. Like, shit, we know a guy who danced in the Grand Exchange and he made like 800k in like 20 minutes. And he was on his pure, or I guess his main, but that's not begging, but like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's like just annoying people and then getting money out of it. But there's people that like, oh, I need 30k for, a rune hatchet, and then like next thing you know, they have like 40 of them in the bank, and people are giving them 30k. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's kind of annoying to see. One thing I don't have a problem with is like dancing for money and shit like that. That kind of stuff I kind of welcome. It's kind of fun. I like having these people who are playing this character as. For instance, there was a guy dressed up as a priest, and he was going around shaming people for money. I must have spent 400k on him or something like that. I just kept telling him to shame other people, and I was just alking, and I was bored. But honestly, I thought it was hilarious. I had fun doing it. I enjoyed it. So
yeah, of course. Well,
stuff like that. It's
service, right?
It's different. Yeah, obviously, him shaming someone isn't doing dick all, but like, it made things interesting for me. But I guess we won't linger on the topic of scamming too much more, but yeah, I don't know. Do you have any like closing statements?
I just kind of want to say that like scamming, it's annoying, but I don't think it's too big of an issue. I think it's more of an issue to new players, or
most people will get hit once and not.
Yeah, if you're getting hit like 12 times, then like, dude, come on. Like, this is 100% your fault at this point. Like, quit putting paper clips in the friggin' outlets. Like, nothing good can come of it.
Yeah, and like, there are some scams that are clever. Just remember, if something doesn't seem right, this like it seems like something's off. There's definitely something going on. Like, I was staking a little bit. I wanted to try it out. I never made any money. Lost it all every single time. But anyways. There was a guy, and he, changed. I set my rules. Everything's turned off except for, only whips only. So only weapons, no specials, nothing else. So I put in 1 mil, and the guy put in 10 mil. So I was like, and then he accepted. So I looked all over the rules. I knew something was up. I was like, there's no way this guy is gonna just put in 10 mil because he's that rich. You know what I mean? Like, he knows he's gonna win. This guy is scamming me right now, but I don't understand how. So I literally just went into it, and I don't know if he fast clicked or if I didn't see it, but I double checked the rules like 3 times. Like, I must have sat on that menu for like 2 minutes looking over because I knew something was wrong and I wanted to figure it out. I couldn't see what was different, so I said, you know what? I'm going in. I'm probably going to lose this 1 mil, but I'm taking the chance that I might win the 10 mil, and I'm curious. I went in, and the guy was able to eat food. I don't understand how that happened. And it was so simple. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It happened twice, actually. The second time was the guy switched melee off and put magic only on. So he went, and I just sat there, and the guy fucking air bursted me for like... And I was just like, all right, man, you win. Like, I can't do anything. I can't even hit him.
Yeah.
But something seems off. It most definitely is. If some guy comes up to you, says, hey... Do you want 10 mil? I'll give it to you. And then you get a message from some other random saying, hey, let's anti-lure that guy. They're both working together. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, generally, if someone wants to do something nice, they'll just go ahead and do it. Like, I had this one friend back, like, when I first started playing, like, got back into old school. And, like, I was pretty good friends with this guy. Just, like, met him doing some random shit. And he was, like, pretty cool. And then he just, like, hey, man, like, I'm gonna be quitting. Like, I have some things going on. I'm getting deployed. I'm never coming back to RS. Like, this is my last time going on. Yo, come meet me in the Grand Exchange. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was, like, saying goodbye or something. We were, like, pretty good buddies. And I was probably, like, level, like, 30 at the time. And he just gave me a Robin Hood. Was like, there you go, man. And I was like, oh, shit, dude. Like... You know, like that. Like it's pretty obvious when someone's doing something like just to be nice, as opposed to like, hey man, I'll give you a Robin, but first I gotta make sure you trust me. Like that's just yeah. It's yeah. If someone's being nice, but you have to do something for them, that they're not being nice, and they're just you're just gonna get scammed.
Yeah. Choose your head, people. All right, so we'll move right along. So what we're gonna be doing? We have we're gonna be doing an Iron Man challenge. Neither of us have ever really played an Iron Man. I don't know any of the techniques. I don't know if there's any, tricks and tips on how to bypass certain things, whatever it is. So, we're going to be doing, and there's also going to be YouTube videos going along with this if you guys want to see our progress. It'll probably come out after the podcast each week. But, so each week, we're going to be playing on our Iron Mans, but we're going to set ourselves a challenge as well as a restriction. So... It's not going to be just play your Iron Man and see the progress there. It's going to be see the progress, but you can only be doing these certain things, or you can't be doing this. It would be just some restrictions in place, just to make things interesting. It's kind of going against the whole no XP wasting, because you're going to have no choice but the EXP waste. So, and then each week, the loser, we're going to put it's going to put 100K. I think that's the amount we're going to decide on. 100K each week. Into a little pot, and eventually we'll have a drop party, and we'll drop whatever's in there. We'll probably give more information on when that'll happen, but that's the idea right now.
There'll probably be a mix of like useful items, and then just like fun things, and obviously like a nice little cash stack at one point.
Yeah, exactly. So, there'll just be something fun.
Yeah, so we're also going to be limited, like we're limiting how many hours we can play just because of like both of our schedules and time restrictions that we have or don't have at that given moment. We're going to be setting like X amount of hours. I believe it's 7, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to try to do 7 every week.
Yeah. So
it's not a lot. It prevents it from being a chore if we're too busy. You can squeeze out 7 hours if you have a really busy week, so it shouldn't be a problem.
And it also prevents like, let's just say, it's like a holiday for me or whatever. Dylan's got to work. It prevents me from sitting there for 30 hours throughout that week and just beating him out of numbers. It kind of makes it more interesting, and it kind of changes your strategy depending, because you only have 7 hours. So you kind of have to figure it out how to do that like most efficiently. I guess got to plan it out. Yeah,
exactly. So this week's challenge, I think we're gonna keep it nice and simple. I think. Just because these are fresh new accounts, straight out of Tutorial Island. So, the challenge is going to be whoever has the highest total level by next week. Just keep it nice and easy. The restriction we're going to put in. So, this is how it's going to go. Yeah, you got the challenge. That's the goal. Whoever has the highest total level, they win next week. The restriction. So, we're going to go along with the podcast, the name of the show. The restriction is going to be you could only be in the wilderness. The 2 times you can leave it is to bank in Edgeville and to bank at the Mage Bank. I guess we'll keep this strictly wilderness. You want to cut Edgeville Dungeon out of this? Because that is the wilderness, but you can kind of... You know what I mean? The only way to get there is...
Yeah, I don't think we should have the Edgeville Dungeon.
Okay, so it's just the straight wilderness.
Unless you want to do it. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, we'll keep it wilderness. It's nice and simple.
Okay.
And yeah, the only times you can leave the wilderness are if you die and you have to run straight back, or if you're banking. But you can bank, you can take items in, take items out, whatever. So, yeah. What do you think? Do you see any issues you're gonna have to be facing?
Food. I think I don't even know that much about the wilderness. Like,
I know. I'm trying to think. I know there's trees to cut.
Yeah, I know there's trees, and I know where you can get bones and kill some mobs. But like,
yeah.
I can't really think of too much.
So it's either going to be interesting or it's going to be a week of us woodcutting trees. So
yeah,
whatever.
We'll have to figure that out.
And each week we're going to change them both up. That's basically it for that. For the Iron Man part, we'll go through and we'll tell you more, guys more about the YouTube videos once we start pumping them out. All right, so moving right along. We're also going to be doing giveaways, events, and activities in the future. We're going to start doing some giveaways. We plan on doing some giveaways within the first 5 episodes. We haven't decided yet exactly what, but keep listening each week, and you'll hear more information on it. All right? So... I know we said we're going to keep it short and simple for this week, but we kind of dragged it on, rambled a bit, so...
I mean, I feel like that's going to happen a lot.
Yeah, it can.
As long as we can wind it back somehow. I don't think it's too bad, but...
Yeah, it'll come natural, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. You got anything coming up next week, Derek?
School starts on Tuesday, and
school starts about
it. Yeah,
not bad.
On the 5th for me, so yeah, it's not too bad.
So that'll be fun. As for myself, just work. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the
that's my
IRL
life right
grind,
there,
dude.
Yep. Nothing fun going on there. But yeah, that's basically it. We have a Twitter you guys can check us out on. It's at the Wilderness RS, all one word. Guys, you can send us your emails, or if you have any questions, anything, whatever it is. We'll also read questions or read ideas, whatever it is, read emails on the show. But yeah, you can email us at thewilderness.podcast@gmail.com. We do have a Discord open. We'll figure out more about how to get that out there.
Just make sure that people can't grief it or anything. We'll figure out how we'll make that work.
Shouldn't be too hard. And yeah, we have we'll have YouTube videos coming out of the Iron Man parts, but that'll be coming out in the future. We don't have anything right now. So, you know what? That's basically it for the show. Anything you want to say, Derek?
Nothing really. You know, I'm excited for next week, and
cool.
Hopefully we'll have some people, maybe have some questions or something we can go over.
Right on. Well, till then, this was episode 1. We'll see you guys next week for episode 2. All right, have a good night.
Peace.